Hi Leos, how are you? So today I'll be recording you January general reading, and the way I'm going to do it, I'm going to do the 3 rows. I'm going to do one for past, present, and future, and each row I'm going to have 3 cards, and then at the end I'm going to pull some clarifiers for those cards and also an additional oracle card. So let's see what's in store for you for January, Leos, shall we? Okay, so let me switch the camera so you can see the cards. So let's start. So we have the 8 of Wands, 4, 10. Leos, Leos, Leos. It's a lot of things happening for you. Wow. Well, Leos, what can I say? This is going to be a very, very, very intense month for you, I feel like. The big cards that jump out right now, it's the Fool, the Wheel of Fortune, Death, and the Devil. Those are like major arcana cards that are here to like serve as messages for you, and it's really important lessons that need to be learned. So let's start. Sorry. Let's see what let's go row by row, shall we? So for the past, the energy that you're coming into the month with, we have the 8 of Wands in reversed, we have the Fool, and then we have the 10 of Swords. I won't sugarcoat it. There's some intense energies. Now, with the 8 of Wands in reverse, that's a card that if it was upright, it would have been a card of fast movement. But when it's in reverse, it's something that maybe in December wasn't happening as quickly as you want it to happen. So it's like slow, it slows down. It was happening a little slower. And maybe you also weren't getting the messages that you needed to get, or you weren't hearing from the people that you needed to hear from, or you wanted to hear from. So kind of that put you in a spot of, I feel like this is where that is coming from, where it's, you almost feel like defeated. You feel like, you know, the messages are not coming through, so you just, oh, it's not going to happen. You feel so bogged down, you feel so worried, you feel so stressed about it, and you kind of let that get to you. But don't do that. There was a new beginning that happened for you in the past, maybe be it in the month of December, be it a little bit beforehand, but there was something new that was, there was a new opportunity for you, and I feel like that new opportunity was good for you, and it was something to focus on, right? And then something that might have, you know, get your mind off of these things, off of this negativity. But it could also be something that maybe you were not, you know, like you were so excited about it, but also at the same time you were so worried that it's not going to work out. So, you know, getting that energy, coming with that energy into now, into the present, you let that kind of get to you, and then you have a lot of things that right now in the current situation, it's just they're not, you feel like they're not working out for you. They feel like, again, with the page, it's like, again, messages, they're not coming through for you as fast as you want them. They're not, or you're not hearing what you want to hear. And then this is what has to do in relationship with your family unit, your partnerships, your house, but a lot of it really has to do with the family environment, because I feel like, to me, this card is the card of family, the card of you know, abundance, the card of finances too. So I mean, it could also have to do with job. Maybe there is something at your work that maybe you were waiting for that promotion, you were waiting for that raise, but it just wasn't happening. Like it just wasn't happening for you. But I feel it's because it wasn't happening because there was something else in the background that wasn't closed, that wasn't ended, that wasn't, there's still things happening, and there's still things in the works that maybe you're not aware of, but it is happening. It's only like a slower pace, but they're still happening, and maybe there's some stuff that some decisions that need to be made, but it's not up to you anymore, it's up to somebody else to do that. So maybe that's why the things are not coming in as fast as you would want them to, you know, Leo. So I would kind of have a little patience. I would, you know, make sure that you're not letting this get to you, not letting this, you know, really stress you down and bogged down by it. Because when you have that energy, you are bringing it into a new thing, you're not allowing that to flourish and expand. And that's like, you know, you see this in this card when it's in reverse, right? It's not serving that higher purpose for you. It's not like you're not letting that the things that do work are working out for you, and not letting them shine, you're not letting them come through. So focus on the things that do work for you, you know. But also make sure that you close cycles, make sure that you do things that need to get done in order for you to like complete something. If it's a project, you know, make sure that you like sent that email, or, you know, did the follow-up on something, right? If it's relationships, make sure like you have the conversation, be it like with maybe with a past lover, or like with a past partner. Maybe there was something still left unsaid, so make sure you do those things, you know. Now going into the future, we have a Knight of Swords. Again, it's a slow moving energy. I feel like this month is going to be a lot about kind of patience, because a lot of things will be moving, but moving really, really slowly, you know. So I think the Knight of Swords reinforces that message of like, instead of heading, you know, like full throttle into something like the Fool, would you just leap in, right? And more just kind of taking a step back and then really plan all your moves, and then don't just rush into something without really knowing what you're rushing into, you know. And also it has to do with swords being about communication and words and your thoughts. Be also mindful of what you think and what you say. If somebody said something to you to upset you, you know, be careful not to return that. You know, be careful not to return that energy back, because sometimes when we're upset, we tend to say things that later we might regret. Hence the Wheel of Fortune in reversed. You know, so make sure you don't let yourself get dragged into that, you know. Like really weigh in, like think before you speak this month. I think will be really important to you. And kind of hold your tongue sometimes, even though you know that you want to say it, even though they deserve to hear it. But maybe sometimes just hold it in before, and then really think, is it worth saying it at this moment? You know, would they really get what you're saying, you know? And also weigh in your words. Like pick and choose your words carefully when you communicate with anybody this month, you know, and especially in your relationships and your work environment, because I feel like there's a potential for gossip too, you know. Now with the next two cards, we have the Death and the Devil, both of them in reversed. Now Death in reverse to me always signifies reluctancy to change, you know. It's for us, it's so hard, like for people in general, it's so hard to think when there's a thing about changes. It's hard because you don't know the fear of knowing what's going to happen next. Sometimes people are reluctant to change, or they think they have it well, or they think that, oh, it might get worse. So they really don't want to change. But Death card here is inviting you to really, really be okay with change, accept change, and invite it in. But invite it with intention, because I feel like with the Devil in reverse, and this is a good position to have with the Death card, I feel it's like you're reluctant, like maybe there's some habits in your life, maybe there's some people, and maybe there's some toxic relationships that you still hold on to, slash the Death in reverse, they you think are serving you, and like maybe they are serving some sort of purpose, but maybe that purpose is not for your higher good. So even if, be mindful of those relationships, really think about those toxic and negative things in your life, you know. It could even be habits, like as you maybe having like 6 cups of coffee a day, you know, versus, or you know you have to exercise but you just don't because you would rather stay home and watch TV, you know. And not that that's bad, but just find that balance, find like, be mindful of where you are letting those habits and toxicity in, you know, and adjust that and change those patterns, change those relationships. move away from them, because the more you let them be in your life, the more they're gonna surround you with that negative environment, and you're not going to be able to move forward. And I feel like this is all of these like slow motion cards. It kind of talks about not being able to move forward because you're so reluctant to change. You're so reluctant to let go of toxic relationships, toxic patterns, toxic habits. So embrace change for you this month. Embrace change. Now let me pull some clarifiers and see what additional messages come through for that, because we sometimes might not see the whole picture right away, you know. So let's see what we got. Let me pull these down so you can see the whole spread. For the clarifier, I'm using the After Tarot deck, which I really love. And if you, like me, like a lot of decks, I would totally recommend getting it. Okay, let's see. So clarifying Fool, clarifying the 10. Wow, Wheel of Fortune again. Justice, Page, Victory, the Hermit. Okay, and the Moon. Okay, so there are some patterns are emerging out of this spread. So what I can tell you is that with having the 9 of Wands clarifying the 8 of Wands in reversed, I feel it's about you know, so 9 of Wands, it's about struggle and getting out of a struggle, but succeeding in getting out of it, succeeding into, if you had a project that was really hard for you, it's you are finishing it. It takes time. It might take a little bit of extra effort, but you will be succeeding in it. And I think this is what, like, the clarifier for that 8, I feel it's like sometimes it just takes a little time and a little effort in order to pull through, in order to finish certain things, or in order to just like learn your lesson. So I think it's more about, with this particular combination, that's the message that comes through the most. Now then we have the 6 of Cups in reverse clarifying the Fool. The Fool is new beginnings, right? And then the 6 of Cups, it's about the past, things from the past, memories, you know, nostalgia. So it's like you finally were able to let go because you learned your lesson, right? It was hard for you, it was a long time coming, but you finally learned your lesson and you were able to let go of the things from the past and something from your past that wasn't serving you. And you were able to move into something new, like the Fool says here, right? Now then we have the Wheel of Fortune reverse clarifying the 10 of Swords. And again, you know, having the Wheel of Fortune in reversed here, it's like, again, the message comes through so strong of closing cycles. And this card is coming through for so far for every single sign that I've done. Closing cycles, and it's no wonder, because, you know, we have 2018, or closing 2018 and moving into a new year, a new calendar year, a new chance to set intentions, to set, you know, goals for your new year and what you want to achieve, what you want to do. And also, not only that, but like in order for you to move forward with a clean slate, you can't do that without closing things that are still open, closing projects, following through on something, or like saying your apologies to something, or like letting even go of past hurt. Because I feel like with the 6 of Cups in reversed and then the 10 of Swords, it's like letting go of those things from the past that hurt us, like, and then forgiving and people that did that, and then, you know, and being forgiving yourself for doing certain things, you know, forgiving yourself for maybe doing certain things that you didn't like about yourself, because I think that's really helpful. So really closing those cycles, closing those cycles, and finishing up things that were still needed to be finished. Now the next thing we have Justice clarifying the the 10 of Pentacles in reversed. Justice is about fairness, right? So I feel like going into the month of January, I feel like you're gonna feel like there's maybe something that you weren't treated fairly, hands, or like maybe you didn't get the raise that you wanted, maybe you didn't, if you did get it, you didn't get as much as you wanted and you thought that that was unfair. But know that that is for a reason. Know that there was a purpose for it, and there's something else that is just working in the back end for you, that right now is not the time, you know. So and also be careful not to treat your family with this disrespect this month, and then be appreciative of the things that they're doing for you, because you know, with the 10 of Pentacles is the card of family for me, and the card of abundance too. So with the Justice in reverse, it's like, be grateful for what you have, you know, because see, like how we have like the beggar and the king here. So it's like, you know, you can be on the one side or the other within minutes, within seconds, you know. It's just depending on like your perspective. But it also speaks of that you have both sides in your life. There's areas where you feel abundant and there's areas you feel lack, but focus on the areas that you feel abundant, and then you can turn this from being like reversed into upright. Because if you're focusing on the things that you do have versus the things you don't, you realize that you're so much more rich than you actually thought. And then really not only realize the areas you're abundant and being grateful for it, but also acknowledge the people that helped you get there. Okay, now with the next combination we have Page of Swords in reverse, clarifying the Wheel of Fortune in reversed. Page of Swords in reversed, again, it's messages coming through. So you're able to close cycle because you're still waiting on something. You're waiting either usually the Page of Cups is an apology, but this is usually a message of clarity. So maybe there was something else that wasn't happening just yet in order for you to be able to close those cycles. Like there was something you didn't get clear, and I'll get to this later, but this is reinforced by this card. Then we have the Six of Wands clarifying the Page of Wands in reversed. Now with this combination, I feel like and with this clarifier in this context, it's about it's weird, as much as you think that you weren't getting receiving the messages and receiving the information, or receiving some notifications from people that you were waiting to hear from, but know that you will. Know that that will be coming. It's not as quickly as will, but see how like in this image there's this lady approaching him and, you know, like welcoming him. So know that that is coming. Know that and it might take a while, but that is coming. And there is a preparation feel to this card, right? Like preparation to victory. So all of these messages, they're still in clarity that's not coming in yet. It's because there's some work that needs to get done, and there's some planning in the back end that's being done for you to get to that point, you know. But it also has to do with you taking the steps to get there and do the work versus expecting it to happen to you. And then in the future row we have the Hermit reversed clarifying the Knight of Swords. The Hermit in reverse is actually getting out of your comfort zone, getting out of your own shell, getting out of your head, and really speaking your truth in a way, but speaking it with a calculated thought, if that makes sense to you. It's more like you did the work of like figure out what you need to, what's your wisdom, what's your you know, the place of comfort, the place of your inner wellness, right? And so you did all of that work, so now it's time to share that with people, but share it in a way that is not like rushed and like really in your face, but more like sensitive. I think this is where we're like that. The energy of the cups would be really beneficial, where it's like, you know, more of a nurturing than being like really abrupt and really quick, you know. So be really calculated of how you say and share the thoughts and your ideas and whatever your the wisdom that you had, that you gained from all of this process, right? And then we have the Four of Swords in reverse, clarifying death. I feel this is, death is like, with this card, I feel it's like it's time for you to get out of that like stale situation. Somehow it just makes me feel like you've been like waiting, and then waiting for a change, but that change wasn't happening. So I think it's time to like take matters into your own hands and really make that change happen, and not resisting it, not like you know, just embracing it and really welcoming it. And then we have the Moon, clarifying the Devil. The Moon, it's a card about secrets, about hidden things that we don't know yet, but they're working in the background for us. So I feel like with the Moon clarifying the Devil in reversed, it's more about letting go of secrets, letting go, being clear and open and honest with people around you. Like with the Knight of Swords and the Hermit too, right? We have, you gain that clarity, you gain what you like, the wisdom from this process. You know what cycles you need to clean up, you know what cycles you need to close, and the conversations you need to have. So have the conversations, but have them in a really structured, organized, polite, and respectful manner. Don't be impulsive, don't be rushed and harsh with your words, because sometimes it's so easy when you, especially when you talk to people that you really know, you know their weak spots, you know, like their pressure points, so it's so easy to use that. But don't do that. Please don't do that this month. Be very respectful of your words and how you use them, and be mindful how that impacts other people, because you know, like you realized what's not serving you, like those bonds that you need to let go of, right? So do that, but do that in a really mindful and respectful way, you know. So that's it for these cards, but let me pull, I'm going to pull an oracle card deck as an additional message for you this month. And let's see what, oh, this one is a flirt. We got flirt, extend your light-hearted energy to others. So this is kind of like with this, right? Like, you know what you're about, you know what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, and then share them. But like, don't be like a brat about it, right? Don't be like, yeah, I'm the best, you know, like be respectful, you know, like even if you know you're the best, but sometimes just bragging about it doesn't really, you know, help. So like do it in like a lighthearted way, right? And flirt and like let other people see you this month. But let me pull another one, because that was a jumper, so I want to pull another one. Flirt, but it's a time to get out there and then really, you know, try things. And especially with that Fool from the past that happened to you, I feel like it's a good time to like get out and network too. Honeymoon, enjoy the bliss of holiday time together. Now we're just coming out of the holidays, which here in the England area, it's Christmas. Christmas was in December, and then we're getting into the New Year. So it's like, it's a really sweet time to kind of like let yourself let go of that past and like really move forward into the future with like a lighthearted energy, and also with like this enjoyment of like good things to happen, good things to come, and just enjoying every moment, like no matter how small that is, but really be grateful for the good things you have in life, and then grateful for the family you have. And for some of you that are single, you know, there's still a lot of things to be grateful for, and I feel like you know what that is, you know. And just, if it helps you, write in a journal every day or at least once a week good things that happen to you, and that will like put you in that bliss state of enjoyment of the little moments in life, and just be present. So I think I'm going to close with this for you, Leo, this month. And I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful January. And if you liked, or if this reading resonated with you, please like the video. And if you want to hear more and then see the readings next month, please subscribe to my channel. And I'm looking forward to see you next month. Bye, Leos.